going on, people? It's Ricardo Francis, aka Ricardo Lifting here. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm the guy that talks everything health and fitness to help you get in the best shape of your life. So today I'm going to be talking about beginner mistakes, typically things that I did, and it's common to see in the gym. You know, I work in the gym and I see people making these typical mistakes. I just want to help you, educate you guys, so you don't have to make the same mistakes that I did. Before we continue, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this with at least one friend who's a beginner trying to get into health and fitness. This might help prevent them from making those same mistakes. If you need supplementation and you want discounts, type in Francis10 on dynutrition.co.uk for a whole supplement range and you get 10% off. Now let's get into the video. Let's start with food beginner mistakes. You know, first thing is, when I started training, I didn't change my diet whatsoever. So I was eating pretty crappy. Reality is I was eating like cereal 3 times a day. I'd had smoothies, etc. But I wasn't eating nowhere near enough calories for what I wanted. It wasn't fueling my goals. I wasn't recovering properly. It'd take me like a week to recover from a workout, when it should take no longer than 3 days to recover. As long as you're getting enough sleep and getting enough food, you should recover within a maximum of 3 days. So yeah, I was not eating enough calories. I wasn't having enough protein to recover adequately to fuel your muscles and help to grow and repair. So it got, obviously I made beginner gains, and then eventually I kind of stopped making gains. My body was just trying to recover and I was hitting those plateaus. I wasn't actually progressing. So until later on, when I actually learned I need to consume more food and more protein, and then I started growing like crazy. So definitely mistakes that can easily be avoided. Eat more calories if you're just new to the gym, hitting the gym. I always say, if the average person is meant to have 3 meals a day, have 4, simply because if you're in the gym and you're training, you're no longer the average person. You're now beyond average, you know. You're now beyond average, you know. Your output is more than the average person, so you need to consume and fuel more than the average person. And yeah, make sure you get enough protein to recover properly. Protein is required for optimal recovery. You need your carbs too, but I don't think the average person on the day-to-day neglects carbs. The reality is they're probably getting too much, but make sure you're inputting that protein into your diet, and still getting adequate carbs in your diet. You know, if you're scared of getting fat from carbs, which is typical, some people are like, oh, I've got to avoid carbs at all costs. You know what, just have carbs around your active period, so before and after you train, and then the rest you can pretty much survive off protein and veg. You get enough calories as long as the meals are big enough, or as I said, if you eat more meals, you can get that in. Let's go into the training side of things. Now, typically I used to train for way too long. I used to try and either hit too many body parts in one session, or if I broke it up into different body parts, I'm trying to hit too many exercises, too many angles in a session. You know, my workouts sometimes could be I remember having 3 to 5 hour long sessions. It's not that I was training that hard or that intense for that long. It was more of a social thing, too much rest, and then not recovering properly. And that, you know, that didn't help me, that hindered me, if anything. You know, the reality is, after 40-45 minutes of training a particular muscle group, you train it for that long and it'll be in a metabolic state, which means it's ready to grow. And if you're training it beyond that point, scientifically it kind of falls into a catabolic state, which means it's going to shrink and you're going to actually wear away at the muscle. So you don't want to train any body part for too long. I train typically 2 body parts and a maximum of roughly an hour and a half a workout, or sometimes 2 hours. But if it's a 2-hour workout, half an hour of that was probably warming up and stretching, if I'm honest with you. So yeah, just cut your sessions short, smash it, keep your rest periods short enough so that you can get the most bang for your buck, and just keep it intense and keep working, keep progressing, and you will do great. And the final one is, I used to try to PB all the time. So I try to hit a personal best or personal record. Nearly every week I was increasing. and it would work for like 3 months, and then I would injure myself, and then I'd take like a month out, get back into it, and have to build my way back up. And it took a little while to build back up, and I just kept going through cycles of it, and I'm like, why am I injuring myself so much? And the reality is, like, I'm pushing my body too hard, too many times. Like PBs and PRs, they're great, especially nowadays. They're all posted on social media, but the reality is you don't need to do that all the time. You know, a PB, PR, hit it once every 6 months. To be honest, every day, you know, you should be grinding. Say you hit a certain amount of reps. Okay, you hit that many reps, you hit that weight. Next week, okay, try to hit one more rep, or stay at the same weight. Try to get cleaner reps. You know, I would do a certain weight, I would hit it for a certain amount of reps, and then the next week I'll try and hit the same, and the following week I'll try to hit the same, and just try and get more comfortable with the weight. And then after that, I will go up, and only by a small fraction. You know, not jumping up by 5-10 kg, maybe jumping up by 1.25, 2.5s, simply because progression is progression, and you don't want to throw your body in so much shock and tax your central nervous system so much that it can't keep up. If you want to progress, make small progressions, just keep grinding it out, do something a little bit different, but do not try to personal best and lift heavy every single session, because trust me, you're not going to be able to keep it up. And actually you'll find that you end up lifting weaker and weaker and weaker each time, just because your body can't take it. So that is my beginner mistakes. Make sure you hit that like button if you like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this with at least one friend that you know can benefit from this video. Again, dynutrition.co.uk, type in Francis10 for 10% off the whole supplement range. And yeah, don't make those beginner mistakes. Even as a veteran, even if you're someone who's been in the gym for a while, make sure you're reviewing these things and make sure you're not making those mistakes. Anyway, that's me. I'm out. Peace.